All right, it's been way too long since the last time I've done one of these Q&As. Partly because, well, life got busy, but also because I hated the process of uploading a video, putting it on private, putting it on Discord. It was just too many steps. And with me, because of the nature of the squad every day and how busy I am with life, I hate when there's multiple steps to make something happen. But recently, I realized that you can now upload videos directly on Patreon, and I thought, wow, that's amazing. That's just a simple process. I can just click record and just upload right away. So I really like the sound of that. So there's 61 comments in that post that I made this morning. It feels like yesterday because I, slept in between the post and now. So I'll just try and get through as many as I can. I've clicked here top comments. So the people that have had the most likes on their video, I'll just respond to that. So let's get it started. I'll drink this kombucha, no sugar, while I'm going through this. I've just finished working out, had a shower, had something to eat, and here we go. Raspberry lemonade kombucha. Okay. There's the coffee machine going nuts. So One Man's World 405 says, get some rest, get some good rest, dog. You've earned it. Appreciate you, man. So I did a night shift last night. Jumped back in the car, driving home. And this is where this idea came up. I was just like, man, I want to really thank everyone that's on Patreon. I really want to thank everyone that's stuck with me all this time. Like it's still to me unbelievable that I have the support that I have. So I did some writing, I did some Q&As, but I feel like I want to do something more for the guys that are on Patreon supporting me. I know we communicate with a lot of you guys through messages on Patreon, and that's really cool. Like there's a direct relationship there, communication. So that's really cool. But throwing in a video here now that the format, the platform is making it easy. Why not, man? I'm all for it. 20 Watt Nick Max says, much love from love my Balkan brother. Appreciate you, man. Then we have actually Enuri. He writes, I'm having a real tough time finding the motivation to actually stay consistent with working out. Love what you do. If you have any wisdom, drop it. This whole conversation of motivation, inspiration, discipline, like it's all kind of rolled into one topic, which is how do you stay on the path which you want to go on. I find that topic really interesting because it's like, can you force yourself to be something that you are not? Can you force yourself something that you do not want? This is something that I always think about. It's like, if you really wanted to quit smoking, you would. If you really wanted to, climb Mount Everest, you would. It's just a matter of how hungry are you, man? How hungry is your, current situation? A lot of us don't know what we want. And something that I've kind of realized over the years is that if you don't know what you want, it's probably because you already have what you want. And so that there's this like a degree of satiation. There's like a degree of, I am where I want to be. And so people are kind of lost because they've kind of already reached a comfort level which they want to stay in. For me, my motivation, some of you guys referred to me as absolutely crazy for what I've done. I have this fire within me. I have this desire within me. I have this love. I have this gravitational pull towards what I'm doing. This is not a forced endeavor. Some people call it discipline. To me, it's like I need to restrain myself from doing something because deep down in my soul, I want to achieve certain things. I want to prove to myself that I am good enough, that I do belong in some of these sentences that I formulate in my mind. It's like, can you string 7 days of training together? And as soon as I kind of said that to myself, yeah, of course I'm going to try and do that. Can I do this? Can I do that? Can I train when I'm really, really feeling unwell? Hell yeah, I want to train. And then I, always refer back to, what I always talk about, which is the whole mentality of, man, like, your life is sweet, man. You have no struggles. Just look at history. Look at World War I, World War II. Look at just any point in history, in human history, and you will see that, man, like, you have it really good. Like, you cannot complain about your current situation. And so when I kind of think to myself about my predecessors, my father, my grandfather, my great-great-grandfather, I'm like almost embarrassed that I'm even thinking about whether it is too difficult for me to get off this damn couch, go to the garage and train. Are you kidding me, man? Are you kidding me? I am embarrassed in front of them if I even, think about how hard I have it. Bullshit, you've got it hard. You don't have hard anything. Get up and go. So that's kind of something that I draw upon within myself to kind of get myself moving. And, even me, I'll have moments where I struggle and I feel sorry for myself and oh, poor you. Nah, think about the past and I get up and go. Isaiah Watson says, you're part of my morning routine before work to get motivated for the day. I appreciate your dedication to what you love. Keep up the great work. Appreciate you, dude. That's really cool that I'm kind of part of your day. That is really, really cool for me to hear, man. Appreciate that, man. Thomas Poika says, no question, just appreciate listening to your videos. Thank you, Thomas, man. Christopher C., the OG himself, working man, R&R time. Well said, Chris. Space Caster says, when working family and life becomes so much, you still train. That's the most remarkable thing that has stuck with me in your journey, especially when work can be so demanding. Listen, man, yeah, I mean, I live a normal life, kind of like what you live. I don't live off of YouTube. YouTube is a hobby which kind of pays for itself. This is not putting bread on the table. This is not doing anything crazy for me. This is literally paying for the gym membership that I have and some of the pieces that you guys see in the gym. This is all kind of reinvested money. A lot of people get it twisted that YouTubers make crap tons of money. If I was making crap tons of money, I wouldn't be working 4 or 5 days a week in a hospital. So I'm pretty much like 99% of you guys. You make do, you make time, you prioritize. Like from the previous question that I spoke about, you really kind of assess what's really important to you in your life. And if training is really, really, really important in your life and you have hunger for it, you're gonna fit it in, dude. Like, eating food and drinking water every day is very important for you. You don't go without that. You don't go without that. You don't go, without seeing your kids for an extended period of time. You need that. So why can't you put training in some sort of ladder? Obviously, you don't put it in front of your freaking kids or the work that you do to put food on the table for those kids. But there's some space on that ladder where you can, skip the pub, skip hanging out with some of your mates, having a circle of 50 friends. Training should be ahead of some of these things. Now, it's entirely up to you how you want to rank that. We're all individual people, individual men and women and whatever. But you need to come into terms with that. The lower that thing drops on your ladder, the less it means to you. It's just the way it is, man. So if you really, really, really want to have a 200 kilo bench press, you're not going to get it if it's a number 10 item on the list, man. You're not going to freaking stumble upon a 200 kilo bench press. It needs to be very highly ranked. Some of these guys, man, like if you think about it, they've put family on hold. They put everything else on their life on hold. 200 kilo bench press is the number one thing, man. They'll live for that. And these are the characters that ended up getting there. Obviously, you're going to have to, customize that to your liking and go from there. But you need to prioritize it. If it means a lot to you, man, you have to make do. Red JR says, how do you know your wife was the one? Thanks for the videos, man, especially the ones about life and what matters most. Man, I've told this story a bunch of times already, man. So me and my missus, we met when we were like 19, 20, something like that. I kind of met her, I think it was 20 actually. We had a thing, met her in the club. She's hot, cool, no worries. I'm 20, young, dumb, and you know what they say, full of cum. I was attracted to her physically. Went there. I had hesitations because she's a Serbian girl living in Adelaide, and the Serbian community is kind of rather smallish. So I didn't want to mess around with the wrong girl and you know, ruin my relationship in the Serbian community. You don't treat, you know, your inner circle, like, not the inner circle, but you don't want to, you know, shit where you eat kind of thing. And, you know, the Serbian community is kind of tight. And so when I met her, I was like, man, like I know her brother there, you know, people, like I'm like, nah, I don't want to treat this as just a flippant thing. Even though at 20 years old, all I really wanted to do is the physical thing, right? We were together for about just under a year, and then my maturity, and probably she would say her maturity as well, but probably largely mine. Lots of arguing, lots of crap. Like my mind's racing. You know, I'm not fully formed. I've got different ideas. I want to chase this, chase that. I've got all these sorts of ideas. We ended up having trust issues, and we ended up breaking up. Cold turkey. I did not speak to her for a year. I did not, actually more than a year. I did not speak to her. We didn't exchange messages. We just had a huge fight, and this was it. In this time, you know, I was seeing other girls. You know, she was dating other guys. You know, moved on. I'm done with her. And then one night, man, I was out with the boys. We're out in this club on the second floor of this club in Adelaide called Heaven. It's since closed, but we were upstairs. It's like boom, 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 you know, like dance music at the top. And the way the place was set up, man, it was like you're on the dance floor, and so the stage is kind of lit up. The DJs are there handling business, and then behind you on the other side is where the entrance, where the staircase kind of like enters the top floor, and that is an all well lit area. So basically, like you see the DJ, everything's dark in the middle, and then at the back you can see, you know, who's coming up the stairs. We were chilling there. It's a Saturday night. We're chilling with the boys, and I just happened to kind of turn around and see who was kind of walking up, and I see her walking up with her friends. And part of that group was basically like a Serbian group, right? Couple of girls, couple of guys. We all know each other, right? Especially I've been with this girl for a year, right? So I know the crew. And because she's with the crew and I'm with my crew, they kind of come around and they say hi, you know, kiss, 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 you know, handshake with all the boys, whatever. And they're kind of just sitting there next to us. And I didn't do a lot of thinking about her during this past year. I thought I'd moved on. But when I saw her walk up those stairs, this is the first time I set my eyes on her for a year. Boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? Why am I feeling this way, man? Like there's so many girls around. Why am I feeling this way? She comes around, she says hi, all that stuff. And I'm like, I don't understand why I'm feeling this way. You know, what's going on with me? I'll turn to my boys and I say, man, like, I need to get out of here. If I sit here talking to somebody, I might lose my cool and we might make a scene here. So I ended up turning around, you know, took my boys and we went to a different club. We're at a different club. The night kind of ends. I get home and I realize my phone's completely flat. Plug it in and I see she messaged me, and the times of the messages were, she messaged me shortly after she came up and said hi, and she kind of like started like, you know, messing around. She was like, oh, nice butt or whatever. And then no reply from me. Well, my phone died. So I never responded to her. She just assumed, oh, so this guy's completely moved on. And this is over. And so like 10 minutes later, she was like, I'm sorry, you know, I'm sorry for that inappropriate message. I'll just ignore me, or something to that effect. And so I get home, like this is hours after, it's like 5 a.m. I get home, plug the phone in, and I see those messages, and I couldn't type the message quick enough to be like, hey, you know, I just didn't have my phone charged, blah, 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 blah. And that's kind of how we started it up again. But I'll never forget the moment I saw her walk up in that club and the way it made me feel. So like, dudes, like, you know, we are not very in tune with our emotions, especially at that age. I didn't know what love was. And I felt at that moment that she meant something to me. I lost her once, and when she re-entered my life, I really knew what the value of her in my life was, and I discovered love. And so to this day, I'm like, you know, I'll never stray off that path. I would never consider another girl because I remember how it feels to be without her. So that's kind of how I knew she was the one, man. Basically, it was, you know, a story that encapsulates my discovery of what love is and how I ended up discovering her. King Fang, Protein King says, you are a true warrior. Appreciate you, man. Glenn Whitehead says, hi, Ivan. Hope you're doing good. I've got a question, and it's what's something you've always wanted to do to start but haven't yet? Maybe because you're apprehensive or trying or just don't know where to start. I'm from England, but writing this while in Tenerife on holiday. I'm about to hit the hotel gym before breakfast. Thanks, all the best. Thanks for the question, Glenn. Before I uploaded the first video on YouTube, before I started doing any of that, I was kind of apprehensive. I was scared that, you know, people are going to see how shit I am. This is before I didn't even think anybody was going to watch my videos. This was purely like a library for me, but I thought, shit, what if somebody sees how crap I am or how weak I am? Like all these insecurities. So that was kind of the first thing that was kind of bothering me for like a year or two before I, you know, found the courage to actually upload my first video, as weird as that sounds. As for that, I went through a period, probably 3 or 4 years into my nursing career, where I really wanted to do something more. And I kept thinking to myself, this can't be it for me. I can't just be a nurse and that is it. I can't just settle with that. I'm better than that. And so I went down the path of, you know, trying to get into other things like paramedics or ambulance driving, which is like a 3-year course. Ultimately, I ended up going on a path of like a 2 to 3 year path to get into medicine. There's a test called the GAMSAT test, which is like a very, very difficult test. It's like a ranking score, and you need to score a certain level to get into medicine. And they take into your count your GPA, your GAMSAT, and then if you're lucky enough, if those 2 scores are really good, then you get an interview. So I went through that period for about 2 years. I ended up getting an interview, and around that time, the whole process of me doing that, I kind of proved to myself that I wasn't dumb. As funny as that sounds, man, like I always thought I wasn't smart enough to do medicine. But then I went through the whole process, got an interview. I didn't get into the university in Australia here in Adelaide, but my score was good enough to get into other universities around Australia. Around this time, I kind of lost the fire to do medicine because I kind of had my satisfaction of knowing that I am good enough to do this GAMSAT and to get through the process. So that kind of took the drive away from me to do actual medicine. I realized that the medicine goal was always just a ego thing. It wasn't truly what I wanted. I didn't want to sink in all of these years and hours of my life every day into a career like that. But I was insecure within, and I really wanted to prove that to myself. And I thought medicine was going to be the path until just the test in itself kind of satisfied me in a way. And I went away from that process thinking, I'm not a dumbass. Like I am good enough. You know, all I have to do is sit down on a chair in front of a book and give it a good old read. And so I kind of discovered again in another example that you can do whatever you put your mind to. You know, some of these guys that are doctors and neurosurgeons or whatever, yeah, sure, some of them are brilliant. Read one thing once and then it's in their mind forever. But most people are there hard workers. They're there because they're hard workers. And you can be a hard worker, kind of like we were talking about before. It's about motivation. It's about your hunger. Do you really, really want this? If you really, really, really want this, you're going to put the time in and you're going to really work hard and you're going to get it. So like between the YouTube thing and the medicine thing, like I proved to myself that I am good enough. I just have to follow my heart. So whatever my heart gets set on, I will conquer it. I will get there. And since then, I've kind of been true to myself. I don't do things because the neighbor's doing it or because my colleague that started at the same time as me in the nursing, they're applying for this position, they're at that position or whatever. Nah, I'm where I am and I'm comfortable, and I'll continue to listen to my heart because I think that's the real guide to our lives and how we're going to find happiness. And I think that's what we're all chasing is this internal happiness. And I don't think this is gotten from just simply following the template, the default pathway. Nah, man, you have to really, really understand who you are and follow that. So that's kind of what I always wanted to do. Like I'm doing what I've always wanted to do. Yeah, sure, nursing is not the pinnacle of my want as a career. But when you put kids, family, and all the rest of it, I feel like it's a good balance weighing up all of these things, because I feel like medicine as a mature student studying, in my 30s would have been a very big disruptor. And I think the balance would have been tipping too much into career, and I would have suffered with the family. I feel like I could have done medicine, but if I did it a lot earlier. Medicine it's a very difficult thing to do when you got kids at home. Purple Circle says, just keep it real, Ivan. That's, guys, pretty cool. That, guys, is pretty cool. Appreciate it, man. Johnny Liv says, my question is about the budget, but I'll save it for Albanese. Henry Physics says, do you have any tips balancing your family life, time in the gym and time at work? Yeah, this is the ultimate, man. This is the ultimate test for all of us. The split of time between all these different areas is highly individual. You need to find what works for you. We're all individual people with different needs. But I would just say follow your heart. Wherever you want to go in life, just do it. Before anything, I'm a family guy. I'm a father. I'm a husband. That to me means the most. And then everything else kind of falls in order. Work for me is, it's important, obviously, because my life is created off that. I have to provide. But there's a limit to that. There's a certain amount of money that you earn, and then thereafter you get very diminishing returns in benefits. Your kids want your time more than anything. So time is the biggest currency that you have to offer to people, and so I always kind of try to be at home as much as possible. I refuse to take work home. That's probably inhibited a lot of my career progression, and I'm happy with that. I see people getting ahead who will forfeit their family time for work. That ain't me. I've said it. I've made it clear to everyone around me, my work colleagues, I ain't doing that. And so that's kind of how I look at things. It needs to be like that for me. Otherwise, I'm not going to be happy. So you need to find the balance. You need to kind of work it out yourself, and then stay true to it. Home gym versus commercial gym. Interested on your thoughts, pros and cons. What to set up. Want to set up one. Think good to introduce my kids to training. Yeah, man. Jimmy 5408. It is the best thing that I've ever done. My kids are around me when I train all the time. They see this. It's like through osmosis, through diffusion. They see what I'm doing, and I think that does wonders. That is training consistently all the time. Whether they're joining in with me or not, I think I'm planting seeds for their future. They see me training hard. They see me rocking up every single day. I think those type of lessons are much louder than any words you could ever tell them. So that is a huge, huge benefit. Another benefit for me is that it's my space. A couple of my mates have said that it's my little church. It's where I come to pray, where I come to refill my spirit. There's something about training in silence, maybe with some birds singing like they are now, fresh air, in the elements. It's something very, very therapeutic, and I don't think you get that in the gym. In the gym, it's very much all the time and other people, and that has its place as well. But in terms of like wholesome soul food, I think this is the best way to go about it. I honestly think that, obviously the advantages of the gym is that other people, that's also, good to interact with other like-minded people. The gym has huge amounts of machines and equipment, so you can have huge variation. Obviously, it's much cheaper. The people that are saying to you that it's cheaper to get your stuff at home. It's not. It's not. Like I've spent, in the last 10 years, I've probably spent over $15,000. That is a lot of years of gym membership that I could have bought with that money. Especially now that gym memberships are like $300 a year, $200 a year. That's many freaking years. So it's not cheaper, it's much more expensive, but I think a home gym offers something that a commercial gym or like a normal gym will never be able to offer. And that's that calmness, without even mentioning how convenient it is. This squat everyday thing would not be possible if I didn't have my own stuff. So to me, like some of those things, mean a lot to me. I've done so many cool things, man. Like I'll leave 60 kilos on the barbell. I have a day off work. I run around in the backyard doing what I need to do. Come in, do a set of 10. Go around, do whatever I want. Come back, do some chin-ups. Like it's so cool for that function alone. So that to me is a big positive. And it's a hobby of mine. I genuinely love training. I genuinely like spending 3-4 hours in the gym, in the garage, thinking about gym, thinking about all these different muscles and insertions. It's not just going and get the work done, get out. Nah, man, like I'm more than just the physical. I love the aspect of playing around in the gym with different ideas. So for me, it is the greatest investment I've ever made. It's turned me from a car guy to a gym guy. So I don't spend my money on cars anymore. I don't do that anymore. Like I save my money and then I buy a piece of equipment for the gym. And that makes me so much more fulfilled and happy than just simply freaking, putting money in a car. Like I discovered something that's better for me on many levels than just thinking about cars. I've kind of evolved because of that. So that's my hobby. That's me. That's who I am. I want to collect barbells. I want to collect these pieces of equipment. So to me, it's just more than just exercise. And when you have a gym, it's like people walk in, and you have a garage gym, people walk in and they see what you're about. Oh, you have a GHD, you have a belt squat machine. Okay, you've got a couple of squat racks, a couple of barbells. I think I know where you're headed with this. You know what I mean? I think that's really cool. Gerard Dean says, I love your videos where you give us a bit of insight into the hospital and life and death. What is the most meaningful experience you've had as a nurse? Oh man, there's been a lot. There has been a lot of stuff happen in my career that's changed me as an individual, changed me as a human being altogether, man. There's been multiple things, especially early on in my career where I didn't really know what life is about, man. And I saw 30-year-olds die. I saw 40-year-olds die. And I'm like, damn. Matured me. I've said this story many times, but my first exposure to something real heavy was on my first nursing placement. I went to a palliative ward in St. Andrews here in Adelaide. Walked in on a late shift, waiting for the nursing staff to direct us where to go and to tell us who we're working with. Our bell went off. One of the nurses was like, hey mate, do you mind going in there and see what the fellow wants? I go in there and there's this 35-year-old dude, man, and he's like emaciated, like he's skin and bones. He had this like long hair, really thinned out hair. He looked like a skeleton to me, man. Like it was so confrontational to see somebody that unwell. Like I walked in the room and I was like, man, this man is so near death without even knowing anything about him. He had lung cancer, he had days to live. And he basically rang the bell because he wanted to get up and sit on a commode to go to the toilet. I stuck my hand out, got him up, put him on the toilet, and he was so gassed. He was so gassed from just sitting up in bed. Dude, you can't go through a experience like that and not come away with some sort of lesson or some sort of feeling in you. That changed me. It changed the way I thought about things. It changed, maybe not immediately, but it planted the seed for some thoughts to happen for me to kind of look at life in a different way. And there's been multiple of situations like that in my nursing career where I've felt that, multiple. And that to me is the biggest gift of nursing. the money's okay. Like, we're not millionaires, we're not poor, we're comfortable people. We work hard, we do nights and all that sort of stuff. But what I get out of it is something much, much deeper, man. It's something much, much deeper. I mean, I could speak about nursing for an hour straight. But it's been the most impactful thing in my life in terms of how I view the world and my existence. Eld2072 says, have you ever done physio? You mentioned before you broke your 3rd or 5th base metatarsal in your ankle. What was the recovery like? I've never done physio, man. Well, I have done physio, I'm lying. Yeah, it was the 5th base metatarsal that I fractured after a severe ankle roll playing basketball. Freaking walked on it for like a week and a half thinking it was just an ankle sprain, and it was just getting worse and worse, couldn't wait there. Went to the doc and you know, took x-rays, and they were like, oh yeah, you need a moon boot. Went to the physio, moon boot, gave me exercises. I think I did two or three sessions. And that was basically it. I was in there for 5 weeks, I think I was, with the moon boot. And then eventually I went back, they took it off. And then I started gingerly walking around the place. And then, you know, I was still kind of trying to train and load it and deadlift and all that stuff. But yeah, that was kind of, I've done another severe ankle roll where I didn't break any bones in my foot or ankle, but I ruptured a number of ligaments in the ankle. And that was basically as severe, if not worse, than the actual bone fracture. So I'm struggling with the phone today. I don't know what the hell is going on, but I think the memory is full and it keeps cutting out. I think I'm in need of a new phone with more memory, because I'm doing 2 videos today, the Squat Everyday video and also this video. I'm continuously deleting stuff, and it's not going well for me. So I'll stop it here. I don't know how many minutes this is going to end up being, but I'll get to the other questions when I can. I'll need to do something with the phone. I don't know, like right now, as I make videos, I delete videos, and right now doing 2 videos in one day, the phone can't take it anymore. So I'll leave it here, boys and girls, and I'll sort out my tech and we'll go from there. I'll try to do these more often now that the flow on the platform of Patreon is a little bit easier. So I'll leave it here, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.